Hello Africa. Kawula, yayahi akwaba, habari mu Africa. You are welcome to an exciting and insightful discussion on Youth Talk Africa. My name is Hami Ibrahim Banangmene. We are coming to you from the city of Tamale in Ghana, West Africa. Wherever you are watching us from in the motherland, get your voice in the comment section. Talk to us. What is happening in your country with regards to the subject of discussion? You can use the hashtag Youth Talk Africa. And don't forget to tell us where you are reaching us from. Are you reaching us from Kampala in Uganda, Lagos, Nigeria, Kigali, Rwanda, or Addis Ababa, Ethiopia? Let us know in the comment section. Follow us on Twitter, like our page on Facebook and YouTube at Youth Talk Africa. Okay, so we have a group of young Africans who we are going to be discussing the topic youth politics and development. Basically, I have here with me Honorable Sharif, who is a politician, and I also have Honorable Ibn Yamin, who is also a politician. So I would want them to tell us, as young people in politics, what is the experience like? Honorable Sharif, how is the experience like since you got into politics?
Thank you very much. As you rightly mentioned, my name is A.A. Sharif, the Assembly Member for Kalpohine State Locals, a player in the Sanaragu Municipal Assembly, and a youth leader. Indeed, I see it a privilege to be part of today's episode of Youth Talk Africa. Talking about my experience in politics, first of all, I would like to make it clear that politics, as we all know, is not limited to mainstream politics or partisan politics. Okay. We have student politics, we have community politics, we have partisan politics. So politics is just the methodology and activities involved in running a government, an institution, or an organization. So basically, one way or the other, we are all involved in politics. But going clear or, moving directly to the politics of which I am engaged in, that is community politics, and some part of partisan and student politics, I have experience. Looking at it, starting or making an intention to vow into leadership position has a lot of challenges. Sometimes you are tagged as being young and that you don't have the expertise to lead a group of people of which elders are part of it, especially when you're not even married. That is one of the biggest challenges. When I started politics, I wasn't married, even though I'm married now with a kid. But the main challenge I had, which almost ruined my chances of being elected as an assemblyman, was the fact that I didn't have a wife, and it was, a campaign propaganda against me. And people said, I have not been able to manage a family. How then do I manage an entire community? So that was one of the challenges. And again, regarding interaction with the elderly, sometimes if you are making a point, they want to override your opinions. And the leverage they have is that they have in-depth experience and they have traveled as far from where you are coming from. So they think they know better than you. So basically, those are some of the challenges I can talk about, regarding my involvement in politics. But all in all, politics is a good thing, and we are doing our best.
Mr. Ibn Yamin Lukman, what would you say about your experience getting into politics as a young man or as a youth in northern region?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. As my colleague rightly put it, in fact, the challenges are numerous, I must say, and zoning it to my own challenges as a young politician growing up in Africa, precisely in Ghana, it's been so challenging, and especially the path I am currently charting is purely partisan politics. The vehicle I intended to use to get to the zenith of politics is NDC, and currently we are in opposition. So as a young man, I started off in student leadership, and the student leadership, having served as a leader, a president to the youth, I then decided to throw my hat in and kind of get myself involved fully in partisan politics. So talking about the challenges so far, like my senior man rightly mentioned, I will say specifically partisan politics, in fact, it has advantages and disadvantages. But talking about the disadvantages, number one is if your party is not in power, it's very hard to get yourself involved in decision making per se. You'll be marginalized, to put it bluntly. You'll be marginalized in so many things, and kind of your party is not in power. Hence, you should be at the sideline for those who are in power to manage their affairs.
Is it mainly because your party is not in power, or because you are youth getting into politics?
Well, the being a youth also counts, because age is a factor where we are coming from. Age is a factor in determining who becomes what.
Or should it be a factor? Should age be a factor when it comes to leadership?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Age shouldn't be a factor.
Okay.
Because some of us we had that if in quote village upbringing, so we know the ins and outs of leadership.
Okay.
As a product of polygamy, I know the ins and outs of leadership.
Okay.
Hence, I think age shouldn't be a factor.
Okay. Then I would come to another young man. I've heard a lot about him. I've in a run-up to a parliamentary primaries of the NDC. I've heard a lot about him. But MPP. Yeah. I've not personally interacted with him, and I personally think he did very well, even though he didn't win. I would want to talk to him. His name is Abdul Rauf, popularly known as Governor. Boss, what has been the experience? You coming out of an election, a keenly contested election, as a young man, how was it like? How was the whole process like? What was going through your mind in the run-up to the election and after the election?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a blessing to be part of Youth Talk today.
We are grateful. Sir.
It was exciting because we have identified a need that we see that we need to, resolve a particular problem facing our people. And being the son and citizen of that particular community, the best thing I can do is to give back to my society.
Okay.
And I believe that my initiative was to inspire other youth across globe, not even Africa.
Okay.
Because even though challenges are inevitable, but you can immortalize it by being a determined person. So the stigma of small boy was one of the challenges I faced. But we proved beyond for people to realize that youth can do it better. You understand? Because there's a revolution revolving around the globe. That has to do with the youth revolution. And I believe that whatever you think you can do it. It's just a matter of being determined. Going to that election, it was full known that the youth cannot do anything. Basically, there were a lot of challenges in regards to even the vetting aspect and those things. But we went there and make it big. You understand? Even though we did not win, but we have made a mark that cannot be.
And that is very important.
Yeah.
I'm sure definitely the people who understand some of the things or the messages you were trying to hit at.
Yeah,
and I think it's great that we've had, your experience in contesting for elections. And it wasn't just any ordinary position. It was a parliamentary primaries. And that was a great one. And I would like to ask those who are not into politics, do you think that, Mr. Sohini, that as young people, it is important to concern ourselves with matters relating to partisan politics?
Yeah, sure. I'm very excited to be part of this because there are wonderful personalities here. To yourself.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think we have to, because our everyday life is about politics. From the house to the school to the market, everywhere is about politics. If you are not in there fully, doesn't mean that you shouldn't bother about what goes around the country. Because if you buy food, it is a politician who determines the quantity the seller should get you. Because if the person goes to the market and things have been increased, which is from the initiatives of the leaders, then you have to policies of the you have to show consent. You don't have to necessarily be an active politician before you show interest in what goes around in the country.
So would you then say that it is out of place for young people who assume that because they don't take the decisions themselves, it is not necessary for me to even go and vote, because at the end of the day, if I vote, I hear a lot of people say that if they vote or not, any party that comes into power, it will still be the same thing. They will still have to hustle to eat.
Well, it's not so, but there are two things here.
Okay.
You see, our leaders over the years have made a lot of young people, trying to disassociate themselves from issues that has to do with politics because of how they run affairs of the country. Now, I expect a lot, to be very honest with you. I expect a lot from the upcoming politicians.
Wow.
But mostly I am disappointed. Because I've seen that most of them are following the status quo of those who are already in the system.
All right, we'll get there. Just hold it there. We'll get there. Let me ask you. What do you think? He said it's out of place for young people to say that they shouldn't get into politics. What do you think about that? Should we get into politics as young people? Mainstream politics, not just being behind, and should we be part of decision making as young people?
My name is Yakub Baba.
Okay.
And I'm glad to be part of this program. Honestly, I'll just go straight to your point.
Okay.
It's very crucial, very important. In fact, we should all stress on it that youth should be part of politics.
Okay.
Let me just ask you one question. Currently, the Minister of Education, is he a youth? He's an old man, is that not it? But if from primary 1 to primary 6, are they always in the classrooms?
No.
It's a youth. Okay.
So are you then saying that we are bringing people to make policies for people that how do you call it?
It does not affect directly.
Affect directly. That is the point you are trying to.
So what I'm trying to say is, it's important that the person whom the decision is going to affect directly should be part in making that decision. Okay. So, and it's not only education. I just choose to mention education because it's one clear point that you can use to what make your case. Now, beside that, talk of drug abuse is entirely the youth. Is it a good thing for the country? Is it a good thing for the continent? It's not.
It's not. Okay.
But let me get involved as a youth in telling them that I'm at the same age with you. What you are doing is bad. Okay. I've known this person, he tried it didn't help. I know this person, he was into it didn't help him.
Okay.
Now the person is likely to listen to me than somebody sitting somewhere, an elderly person talking to him. He's likely to listen to his colleague, his age.
But don't you think that is debatable? Because there are some people who feel that the youth respects the elderly more than their peers.
No, I'm not saying politics should be left entirely to the youth.
Okay.
I'm saying the youth should
inclusion.
be part of politics.
Okay, I get your point. Now, I've already heard Mr. Suhini say that they've been disappointed with leadership in Africa. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's the case.
And why do you think so?
Just because the pace at which most of us expect development to flow in Africa, it's not what we're seeing.
Wow.
And that's why you see a lot of people trying to go to either Italy, migrate to other countries. Why do people risk their lives to pass through the desert to go to other countries if the continent was actually managed properly and the youth being inculcated in whatever decision we make? But in our situation now, our leaders are not really showing that clear vision for us to have the vim and the zeal to see that in future it's going to be all right because the leaders or the leadership in Africa is taking a certain direction. Right now everybody is talking about Paul Kagame. What is he doing different? He's involving the youth in Rwanda. That's why his name is all over the place. And I have heard some key personalities call it just a hype because a lot of things are underground. If you go to Rwanda, but the positives outweighs the negatives.
And I feel everywhere there are negatives.
And I feel that if leaders in Africa were going to take a cue from Rwanda then we would now begin to feel that, oh, we are actually part and parcel of decision making in Africa. But as we sit now, that's not the case. The union that all African leaders falls under, which is the AU. How has it been over the years?
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Youth Talk Africa. We will be coming your way next week with the continuation of this episode. Don't forget to have your voice in the comment section. And also remember to tell us where you are watching us from. Is it from Tamale, Ghana, Kigali, Rwanda, Cairo, Egypt, Johannesburg in South Africa, Addis Ababa in Ethiopia, or Lagos, Nigeria? Let us know. But until same time next week, my name is Hami Ibrahim Banangmini. You can call me the King of the Jungle, King of Africa. Stay safe and be a responsible youth. Youth Talk Africa. We are the voice. Kiburi mu Africa. Salam.